that the water, although it's beautiful, it is also dangerous, which is where McLaren Macomb comes in case there is an emergency, there's a trauma on the water, our proximity, and as the closest trauma center to the lake, you and your loved ones will be coming to our facility and our physicians will be taking care of you. So for the summer, we're there ready to help you in case you're on the water, but through the rest of the year, we're also there to take care of the health care needs of your family and the community and anything else that we need.
Well, it's so great that the Macomb County Chamber, of course with great sponsors like McLaren Macomb, are putting on this Lake St. Clair Appreciation Day, because it is so important that not only all of us that are so blessed to live on Lake St. Clair, but many others who maybe live in the area but have never really experienced what a magnificent lake this is, that they come out and see how wonderful it is, that they understand what a critical component Lake St. Clair is to our economic vitality, that they understand how important it is for our quality of life. It's certainly in our DNA, these magnificent Great Lakes. And whether you recreate, whether that's fishing or boating or swimming or what have you, how important it is for all of us to understand to be very good stewards of this wonderful resource that we have.
You know, it could be underappreciated, and I think that's the problem over the years. People that didn't have access, people that really didn't have the opportunity to enjoy it, it was underappreciated as an incredible asset that we have. Not just for freshwater advantage for us as drinking water, but boy, recreational quality of life as well as an economic advantage. It's right here in our backyard. The busiest freshwater lake than any of the Great Lakes, and in fact in the entire country during the summer months. More boating activity, fishing activity, recreational activity happens on Lake St. Clair than anywhere else. Its shallow nature makes it warmer than the others, which is obviously a natural draw for people that want to go water skiing, paddle sporting, as well as swimming activities off their boats. So it's an incredible advantage that we have here. The question becomes, how do we grow that advantage and get people to connect with Lake St. Clair that are not only here inhabited in their backyard, but as a destination location for people that are outside of Macomb County. Like we see with Grand Haven, we talk about Traverse City. By gosh, those are some cold lakes. They're great lakes, let's admit that. But the reality is, once we open up that access and create more attractions in Lake St. Clair, it's going to be even greater as far as the activities happening on that lake than what we currently see today.
Well, my family was in the marina business, and so I sold boats for a living before I ever got involved in politics. On the Clinton River, my dad has marinas on the Clinton River, and so I have spent a lot of time on Lake St. Clair, certainly swimming, but mostly boating on sailboats. I've done a lot of sailboat racing and power boating as well. I'm really non-discriminatory when it comes to being on a boat. I don't care if it's sail or power, rowboat, what have you. I love it all. And so I have spent many wonderful hours on Lake St. Clair, and quite frankly, with family and with friends, and have built some of our best memories, I think, on this magnificent resource.
My favorite memory on Lake St. Clair was my time working as a marine safety officer and even as the sheriff's department. As a dispatcher at 18 years of age, I got to work out there part-time patrolling the lake. After my normal shift, I'd go out there for another shift just to kind of patrol the lake, and I became immediately attached to it. I absolutely fell in love with it. So for 30 years in my law enforcement experience, every summer I was out on that waterway, whether it was a full-time responsibility or a part-time or overtime responsibility. I truly enjoyed it, and then obviously recreated with my friends. That's where I learned to water ski. It's where I learned to fish. So I really have had some tremendous memories with that lake, but now a responsibility. Not just memories from how I enjoyed going out there trying to keep it safe, but that responsibility of making sure people understand that environmental stewardship, how important it is for every one of us to add value to keeping that lake clean. And then how do I, from an economic development perspective, work with the local partners, whether it's along the Clinton River or Lake St. Clair, the frontage to it. How do we get them to understand there's opportunities that we can do to draw more access and more attractions so that we can invite people to enjoy what we have here? And it's not just a Macomb County asset, it's a regional asset, and it fits completely into the theme of pure Michigan.
So many things are happening out on that lake. There's water monitoring issues, water quality issues, invasive species issues, water diversion issues. We need to make sure that people are making good decisions about that lake. And the sure way to do that is to let people experience the lake. You have to be out on it. You have to feel the wind. You have to see the sun reflecting off the water. You have to smell it, as Julie said, to really appreciate it. And when you experience it, I think you'll make better decisions about the lake. So that's why we hold this event. So people who make decisions relative to the lake get to experience it.
And so it is for all of us to educate one another and to make sure that we have the political will, quite frankly, to clean these areas up and to continue to improve Lake St. Clair, which is the heart of the Great Lakes. And that's a great thing because it really speaks to all of our hearts.
I see the future being even brighter than we see today. I mean, it's going to get cleaner. I'm confident of that. I'm trying to work on the public figures that are responsible for that to get them to own this responsibility better than what they do today, and even maybe change some laws or create some laws that are going to help us with that. Because the underlying premise is making sure that that freshwater advantage we have is fresh water. Then all the other things just come into play with the, obviously, economic advantage of quality of life and the attractions that come along too.